wanted to do this earlier. So what is this about the Smurfs again?
Oh my goodness. You know, I have three incredible children, but this one is very sensitive that we're going to talk about, Sam. You know, most children grow up and have a stuffed animal or a blanket. But at 2 years old, Sam could talk like an adult. And his favorite thing was a book about the Smurfs.
The Smurfs.
Now, was that Sam's sister that you had on there?
Yeah.
Okay,
How
good.
about that? The Smurfs.
Well, that's awesome. I like that. The Smurfs came in. I'm a decade or so older than Sam. The Smurfs came in like in the early '80s or something. I remember them quite a bit. So it was something new. It was on NBC, I think, if I remember right. But
we got to get a Smurf nickname for Sam, don't we?
yeah. I know some brainy Smurfs out there that you just want to kick back to Smurf village, but I don't know, Hefty Smurf, Handy Smurf. It could be Handy Smurf.
There you go.
There you go. Dale, how you doing, man?
Pretty good. I'm in the back.
Somebody's always in the back here.
Players are more important, Sam.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna tell you what. We got a friend from was it Providence? That I think we should bring in here. Keelan, what's up, man? You doing all right?
Yes, sir. What's going on? How you doing?
No, pretty good. I tell you what, you've had a pretty good season. I was looking, Providence beating Palisades and Ardrikell, and it seemed like you had your way with Ardrikell.
No, I couldn't say that myself.
What's your biggest rivalry, you think?
Definitely Ardrikell. Last year was my first year at Providence, sophomore season. I really didn't understand the rivalry too much. After the game, we played the Memorial Stadium, first game of the season. After that, I felt it deeply. It was definitely a gut feeling I couldn't let go. So we definitely had to bounce back this year. It was very personal. And to see them again in the playoffs makes it even more personal. It'll be a deep feeling game that I hope we overcome.
What other teams like Charlotte, just out of curiosity, out of Charlotte, what other teams in Charlotte get your blood boiling a little bit more than the normal? That you just want to play hard?
I feel like any team, there's really no team specifically other than Ardrikell that I would want to go out and play my very best against.
I gotcha.
Yeah, Jim. Ardrikell was formed with a primary split from Providence, and
gotcha.
Then there's also some of South Mex, district that became Ardrikell. I don't know about anything east and northeast. If anything up around Butler, etc. But I'd say without question, from my experience, the two primary teams that Ardrikell might consider rivals would be that Providence would consider would be Ardrikell first, and then South Meck maybe second, because Providence was formed with the split of South Meck. South Meck is split and created a number of almost every team in the south part of Charlotte and southwest part of Charlotte was formed out of South Meck.
Well, I just kind of give you a little bit of perspective, Keelan. I graduated high school in 1989, in June of 1989. Providence High School opened up in August of 89. And just kind of give you an idea how old I am. That's 18. I was 18 when I graduated high school, and our Providence has been around for, I guess, 36 years now. So, in my mind, I grew up in about an hour east of Charlotte. I grew up in Stanley County, the town of Baden, and in my mind, Providence is still a young school. But now looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 36 years old. What's up?
Well, see,
So,
Providence was nothing but trees
yeah,
when
yeah,
Really?
I was in high school. That whole area was trees. Uh,
yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
so I got to see you guys play against Palisades. I was very impressed with, I'll say it again. I've said it several weeks, but Palisades was kind of having their way with you, but you guys never bowed your heads. I didn't see you argue with each other.
Right.
Um, you kind of stayed together and you fought through that adversity. And then as soon as something big happened, there you were. Uh, my question to you is, what helped y'all in that moment? Because it'll be things that you may have to lean on here in the playoffs.
Right. I want to say what really guided us to overcome all that adversity in the Palisades game was really our coaching. You know, it comes down to all the team camps and the crying, the hard working besides your guys in the summertime. Our coaches really are heavy on team bonding, building a brotherhood before we talk about football. You can't be a good football team with no bonds on the field. Because if you got a bond on the field, then y'all want to play harder for each other. So we really prioritize brotherly bonds, staying together, not getting too emotionally high, because every time we get emotionally high, everything goes downhill. Staying together is really what led us to overcoming all that adversity. We were down pretty big. We didn't expect to go down that big in the Palisades game. We were pretty confident. As soon as we stepped on the field, they were chirping. So, we knew God had us. We knew God had
Yeah,
us.
I
So,
didn't expect you to go down like that either. I expected it to be a hard fought, tight game the entire way through. So the way that it finished, in an overtime, uh, indicates a tight game, and I expected
mhm,
that to be the situation all the way through.
definitely.
Emotions have you guys encountered situations where the emotions have drained you, or that the problem with emotions and playing off of emotion is if you get up high and then if for some reason you have letdowns, and this is what happened to Palisades.
Right.
They got that point to where they felt like the game was won, and they let up and they dropped out mentally, and then they couldn't get themselves back into it. Have you guys encountered that at any point in this season? And
No, sir, but I will say we've came out and underestimated teams for sure. Just like Palisades, that is a prime example. We underestimated them. We knew they were a good team, but I feel like we did not come out and play at the best of our ability through the first half. But everything came together second half when we really calmed down, realized that, you know, we're not we're not above every team the way we think we are. We need to play our game and play the game that our coaches preach us to play.
I'm not
I
sure
just got to
what the
ask you one quick
highlights.
question on this. You play this huge rivalry game, and then you find out in your look at your brackets and find out you're going to have to play them again. Is it going to be hard to get back up for that game? Do you think this is it a little bit weird to have to play them back to back weeks?
I definitely say it's an unsettling feeling to have to play your rival school back to back weeks, especially for a playoff game. But I feel like our guys are definitely prepared for the challenge. All our Coach Ward, best head coach in the area, preaches is to stay together, and he knows that we can overcome any challenge because he's watched it with his own eyes. So, and I also believe that as well. So we'll be just fine.
Oh, I know you will be.
Yep.
So, which is your favorite first? offense or defense. So that'll tell us which is your favorite position, though. You said you played safety
Yes, sir.
as well, right?
Yes, sir.
So defense or offense?
Defense.
Right.
Linebacker or safety?
Linebacker. I like the box.
You like the box. You like to hit.
I love to hit.
So would you prefer to play strong safety? I mean, excuse me, free safety, or does strong safety give you enough hitting opportunity?
Strong safety for sure.
Okay. And
So
you only play wide receiver on offense?
Yes, sir.
No slot, no
Well,
halfback?
sophomore season, I was really at slot the whole season, so I can really move anywhere. I can play anywhere my coaches need me to play, to be honest.
Do they ever let you carry the ball?
Oh, yes, sir. Quick screens, run up under my lineman, 10-yard gain.
Uh-huh. I hear you. Jim, do you have a question?
yeah, I was going to ask you, what's your favorite subjects in school?
Favorite subject, I'll go with history for sure.
All right, me and Dale are history guys here. What are you planning to do after high school?
Definitely go to college and get my education and continue ball.
Okay. Well, what kind of degree? Where do you think about going, and what do you want to study?
I want to study business. I definitely want to get my master's degree for sure.
All right,
Can't
man.
leave without that.
All right. Always remember this name, Jim West. I'm a CPA, and if you go into business school, if you're interested in accounting, look me up once you get that master's in 5 year. Were you a junior or senior?
I'm a junior.
Junior, okay. In 6-7 years, when you get that master's degree, look me up. I'll still be around. So I'm looking for good talent. I'll tell you what, I like you already. So
Yes, sir.
look
No
me
doubt.
up, and if you're willing to move up to the Raleigh area, that'd be better. But, we do have an office in near the Panther Stadium in Charlotte. So,
Sir, no doubt.
all right, man.
I think that's it. We got we appreciate it.
Keelan, I appreciate it, man. This was a great interview.
Yes, sir. Of course. Thank
I
y'all
wish
for
you the
having
best
me.
during the playoffs.
Sir, thank you.
Yeah, I haven't
appreciate
decided
it.
where I'm going to, but Providence Ardrey Kell is a potential.
That might
That
be a game to
game,
go to.
Game of the week, I recommend.
There you go, man. All right. Well, that was Keelan. Keelan, thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you. And Dale, I tell you what, just talking to these fine young guys here just makes me appreciate high school football even more. And every one of these guys have their own story. And I like what I heard from Keelan just then. I mean, this guy here, he knows what he wants and he likes it. He loves defense. And I'm a defensive guy.
Well, I think next here we need we need to get to one of the things that I have a passion for this year, Will, and that is to try to give defensive and offensive linemen a little bit more of a spotlight, because you guys kind of go, I don't want to say under the radar, but you don't get the glory that the running backs and the quarterbacks and on other teams, receivers, etc. So,
Oh yeah, of course, definitely.
Yeah, so your name was given to me, and so here you are.
Yes, sir.
I understand you play. Did you say right guard now?
I was right tackle for the first 6 games of the year, and then I moved to right guard for the last 3 games.
And which position do you prefer?
I mean, I've been playing right tackle for the past 2 years, but of these past 3 games, I think I've liked I've been pulling more, and I just think I'm better at playing right guard at this point.
Yeah, the style that Catholic runs, they typically pull the guard. Now, sometimes in these formations, tackles are pulled, but
Yes, sir.
that's because usually your tackle's a little more athletic. So, That must be why they moved you to guard, because they wanted to take advantage of some athleticism that you have.
Yes, sir. Of course.
But how many pancakes? There was a pancake right there. How
Yeah.
many pancakes you have this season?
Too many to count.
Too many to count.
Oh, I love this.
You don't keep track of the pancakes. You just deliver them. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it sounds like a friend of mine who's actually on the coaching staff at Charlotte Catholic. You ever run into Derek Miller at all?
Yes, sir. He's the JV offensive coordinator for us right now.
Okay, I gotcha. Tell Derek I said hello if you ever see him.
Of course.
I got to ask you though, what are you? Are you a junior?
Yes, sir. I am.
Okay, I got you. What's your plans for after high school?
Definitely gonna go. I'm definitely gonna go to college. I'm gonna try to use my football abilities to get into a better school, and I'm still not sure what I want to do in college, but I definitely want to get some sort of degree, obviously, right?
Okay. Yeah. Any idea where you want to go to school?
Well, both my parents went to the University of Georgia, so that's obviously my dream school. But I'm open to go anywhere.
Gosh, I guess it was back in May of 1996. I went to my best friend's wedding over in Atlanta, and that night we were driving back to Hillsborough, and we were going to close on our house the next week, the house I still live in, and we stayed the night in Athens. The next night, next day went to the stadium. Was it called Sanford Stadium? Is that right?
Yes,
or oh my gosh, that is a beautiful stadium. It's a gorgeous
it's
area
amazing.
there.
It's an insane atmosphere.
Oh my gosh, that would be a fun place to go to school right there. So,
Yes, sir.
well, cool.
Tell us about your playoff game this week.
Yeah.
So we have a bye this week, but next week we're probably going to play AC Reynolds, and it's going to be a home game.
Oh, I forgot you
Okay.
had a bye.
You don't have to go up on the mountain. That's a nice thing.
Yeah, I've been to AC Reynolds a number of times. Let's just hope the weather is not as cold as it can get up there.
Yeah,
Is there anything you'd
exactly.
like to say about your team, your teammates, running backs, anybody?
Not anyone specifically, but I just have a lot of pride. Like, obviously, our whole offense is based off the run, so that's the pride of our team. And as the leader of the offensive line, it's my job to make sure the offense runs well, and yeah. So as long as the offensive line plays good and everybody does their job on the offense, we can really play well and we can go deep in the playoffs, I think.
Offensive line is key. There's no doubt about it.
I've always had a soft spot for Charlotte Catholic because for the longest time I attended North Stanley in the Rocky River Conference, and Charlotte Catholic was a member for many years from 1973 up till 1992. Then they went back to the Rocky River around 97 and stayed there until 2004. It's a very good tradition school. Got one of the nicest stadiums around Keffer Stadium, so I know that's a big home field advantage for you.
Yes, sir.
Let's see if Sam's got anything he'd like to
Yeah, let's
ask.
see if Sam.
Hey.
Man, Sam, you're muted, man.
This is
I got you
hit
now. My bad.
Okay.
with Charlotte. Do you know who Sam Griner is?
You can say no. That'd be awesome, man. Just say no.
Just say you never heard of him. Does he look like a Smurf? He looks
Will,
like a Smurf to me.
Can Will hear me? How you doing, brother? Yeah, man, I was watching your highlight. You look fantastic. I really take pride. You know, my first job in high school was an O-line coach, and so I love, that's my favorite group, to be honest with you. I feel like a team goes as far as the O-line is together. Like when you guys got your own like little name, I don't know if you guys got a name for your offensive line.
We have like a bunch of nicknames for each other.
But y'all as a group, you ain't, like you hear the the Hogs. I've
Oh,
heard
yeah,
a
like
great one
Hogs,
called
yeah,
the
yeah.
the law firm, and I've heard all types of things. It's pretty good. So yeah, definitely come up with a team name for the offensive line. I think that'd be great. And you guys, I always say, the type of football that you guys do translates very well in the playoffs. And definitely can see you guys making a run if you catch fire, and because it's a lot harder to throw the football when it gets a little colder, and you guys pride yourself in the trenches. So keep doing
Yes,
what
sir,
you're
we
doing,
do.
Will.
Absolutely.
All right, brother. Good stuff. And have you been to any Georgia games this year or no?
I went to the Bama game. It wasn't a lot of fun at the end.
I understand. I understand. Well, you're different though. You're not going on just a visit. You're a fan, so it's definitely tough if the
Yeah,
outcome's not great, no doubt. But I really like that crew, man. That's probably the OGs of the whole NCAA right now. Is the whole coaching crew at Georgia. I mean, it's kind of they still have a little bit of the old school, toughness developing. I really like them a lot. All
yeah.
those guys there. All right, well, good stuff. Will, appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Will.
Yeah, thank you,
Really
Will.
do
Appreciate it.
I,
Sam
You know what I
Granner,
didn't
what's up,
see in the
man?
highlights, unfortunately, was the buck sweep.
Yeah, I was looking
they
for that too.
run it a lot. They
Yeah.
I haven't watched Catholic. Obviously we're not in their division, so I haven't watched a lot of them. But it was cool to see their highlights. They're still getting back to their ways of dominance of what style of offense they're running. So pretty good stuff.
I did see some spread though as well.
Well,
They
I think they
showed.
got to mix. I think they got to mix that in. It's definitely if you ever playing from behind, it's hard to do it out of the double wing and stuff. Still, like play action is not going to fool people as much when you're down 3 scores or 2 scores. So they got to have spread options as well.
Now they don't run double wing.
Well, they run some half. They wing T. So if you have 2 wings, it's considered double wing.
It's like
Wing T.
double wing, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. They have the ability, they did in the past. They had the ability to just kill you with their tight end.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I never understood in defending Catholic is people let the tight end release too much, and
Well, it's not necessarily that too. Like eye control when you're going against a team, everything's so condensed that wing T. Most people get this so confused. They're like, they'll see a team run option, triple option, and be like, they're running the wing T. I'm like, that's not wing T. That's called option football, and totally different than like what Army and Navy and stuff does. Wing T, I haven't seen that. There's a lot of schools in college that take the principles of wing T and try to do it, but they don't run traditional wing T under center like you see like a Catholic. And I think personally, for teams in high school would probably I think if you have to run a very heavy base run offense, that wing T is definitely better than like triple option, because I don't think there's enough time in a day to really master the triple option in high school like the academies do in the in college, because it takes a lot of reps and you're putting a lot of faith in your quarterback making decisions on who's getting the ball. Wing T, who's getting the ball. It's just there's a lot of illusion that goes into the play. And so when you're talking about those tight ends, um, it's very unique, because what is every like all right, so if you got spread, okay, and you got a corner that's only looking at that receiver, okay, he's not looking at the box and his eye control can stay good. But if you start condensing that down and there's all these different little motions and fake handoffs here and a fake offhand there, what it naturally does that corner's eyes do? He's looking at that fake, and next thing you know, that tight end gets away, or a receiver that's got a tight split gets away from him because your eye control is not disciplined. That's how they lure you to sleep, and then the next thing you know, they're going right by you.
I'll tell you what, I want to do an option right now. I want to go over to another lady here. Kitty.
Hi.
so hang on one second. So Sam, one thing that I didn't see in that in the highlights is, and it had been for the longest time, your base offense is a T formation, and they would a lot of times fall back on T. I didn't see that, but I don't know if you were
Okay.
aware of that.
Yeah, okay. Hey, Mom, how you doing?
Hey, Sam.
Oh, okay. This is your mom. I thought it was your sister. Okay, my
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
My bad.
She does look great. She does. She takes care of herself well. So
Oh,
Did you
all genetics got passed down to the son.
did you hear the
Crickets.
lead in, Sam?
So what? So what now,
Did
Dale?
you hear the lead in?
I caught the tail end of it. She probably told my Smurf story.
No, she hadn't
Um,
told the Smurf story. Now
No.
it's time she can tell that.
I thought I heard a Smurf story. I could have swore I
She
heard that.
mentioned I asked her about the Smurfs because you kind of look like a Smurf. So I was wondering
That's
I was wondering why that was.
fine. I can take some embarrassment right now. That's fine.
no.
It's all
Go
good. So
ahead,
what's
Kitty.
the what's the Smurf story, Mom?
Tell us the Smurf
Okay.
story.
Well, see, like I was saying earlier, Sam was a very serious child, and everybody else had teddy bears and stuffed animals. But Sam liked books, and he'd say, "Read me a book and make it come alive. Make it alive." And he loved the Smurfs. So at 2 years old, Sam could speak like I'm speaking right now. And so I got him a ticket to Carowinds for the season. And they had a Smurf Island there. It's the only thing I saw for an entire year was the Smurf Island. He would go on Smurf Island and he would go inside their little hut. And they had mushrooms to sit on. And he would sit on the mushrooms. See, here's Sam with the Smurfs. That's Sam, the little white-headed fella right there.
Oh, wow.
And he would look at me and go, "They're real, aren't they, Mama? They're real." He dressed up for Halloween as a Smurf, but I don't know what it was about the Smurfs. We kept saying, "Don't you want to watch Bob the Builder or something like that?" But no, he was a Smurf guy.
Yeah, the crush on Smurf
Like the
out.
Smurfs, Sam?
Yeah, I like the Smurfs. I ain't gonna lie. I grew up liking the Smurfs. I probably spent a lot of time at Carowinds, and I think when I stopped going, they got rid of Smurf Island because I spent too much time. They didn't get no more income because I didn't come back for a while.
Back in the early 80s, Washington Redskins had some receivers they called the Smurf. I knew one of them was Alvin Garrett, and there was another one was called they were the smaller receivers. They were called the Smurfs on that. That was pretty cool. And I know that I don't think it was Art Monk. He was pretty big, if I remember right.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, there's some good stories.
Kitty, I got triggered to bring you on when we had Coach Newsom on. And you typed up a message and you were apologizing for being a mom. And so one of the things I wanted to ask you was, you're a mom of a player. You're a mom of a head football coach.
Yeah.
First, what was your understanding of football coaches' responsibilities when you were the mom? Did you know? Yeah, just tell me what you thought they did and how much time they invest.
I can tell you the difference, and that's probably the best way for me to explain it. So when Sam started playing football, Sam played football, baseball, basketball. He was an athlete. And he would tell me, "I'm going to be an athlete when I grow up. Stop. Stop."
Say it again.
Stop.
Pure blooded athlete. Tell him.
He was going to be an athlete. And at the time I was teaching, and other school teachers would say to me, you need to direct him in another way, because there's not many people that become coaches much, or athletes. And he's little. He was a little fella. He was very small. And so my attitude was this. That is that you don't have, whatever you want to do in life by faith, because we have we base our lives on our faith and love for Jesus. But don't ever have a backup plan. Whatever it is that you want to do in life, that's what you head for. And that's the way I raised my children. So when Sam started playing sports, I wish I'd have changed my mind. My husband and I, we took him all over the state. he won't want me to mention this, but he had to go to Dean Smith's basketball camp. He had to go to all the name. I'm doing my shoulders again. Sam's showing me. But anyways, so the biggest thing was that when I was a mom, we had been going to school with these children since kindergarten and first grade. So everybody knew each other. And so when you would go to the games, whoever's child would make a touchdown or a tackle or a catch, we all would scream for them and like, yeah, you're the best. And we all loved each other, but we wanted to be close to the coaches. And I don't know why, it was just a natural thing. So I know we got on their nerves. We would cook for them, we would bake for them, we would do whatever. What I remember the most about Sam playing football was, if I get hurt, don't you dare come down on that field. You dare. And
yeah, knew someone would never let that one go if that happened.
And so there he is. There's Sam with the Smurfs. So what ended up happening our senior year, Sam was told, Sam, you had to choose between baseball, tennis, basketball, and football, because he played everything. And he was good. He was really good at everything he did. Maybe not so much at basketball, but everything else he was really, really good at. So anyways, colleges started to call him, and he went to Western Carolina, and then he decided that it shouldn't be Western Carolina. He wanted to be a big fish in a smaller place, and that's how he ended up at Catawba, and he was a star, my star. But anyways, being a mom is emotional. It's your child. They do nothing wrong. And I wanted the best for him in everything. Now let me talk about, can I talk about being the mom of a coach? Is that okay
Sure.
if I go into that? Yeah. That's totally different. Totally. Because see, I don't see Sam doing anything wrong. And I got to sit up in them stands, and everybody's a coach. Everybody's a coach up there in those stands. And it can hurt your feelings. It took me, I think, at least a year and a half not to get upset, because people can say really ugly things. But on the positive side, there's a different relationship with the players. I've walked boys for senior nights, like if their mom and dads were both working. When Sam was coaching at Harding and he was the head coach, there was no one to feed him on Thursday night. Remember that, Sam?
Mm-hmm.
Every Thursday
It started at Vance. We used to bring, when I was the defense coordinator at Vance, before it was Chambers.
Mm-hmm.
We used to bring the whole defense over. I think it was Wednesday nights. We did it on Wednesday nights, and we watch film, make them watch the film on the opposing team, and my mom would cook for them. It'd be some type of spaghetti or pasta or sandwiches or something.
Meatball subs. And I did that every week. And then he ended up at Harding. And that was, it's more of a extended family, a bonus family, when your son's the coach.
Well, I think you build a lot of relationship with the players too, because you see them, and the players are with me all the time, just like my mom's been with me. From the outside, the parents don't really get to know me as well all the time, and they're going to look at it the same way my mom looked at me. Probably. I mean, I know that my mom has that perspective, but Newsom, she'd be like, "Oh, don't be hard on him. Don't be hard on my baby." And I'm like, "Mom, he's fine. He's teaching me that type deal." And she's like, "No, he's he might be a little tough on you. I saw him yelling at you." And I'm like, "No, I mean, he's fine." That type of deal. And so I wish more parents would realize that these coaches, and I think that Dale was trying to get at a little bit earlier, is that coaches do a lot more. They wear more hats than just coaching and calling a play X's and O's. Like we're father figures, sometimes mentors, sometimes.
Let me interrupt you, Sam. Let me interrupt you, because this is something I wanted to touch on. When he said you become a parent, he, in reality, became a parent. He came home. He was living in his own home with his wife and 2 little girls. But he came to my house and he said, "Mom, there's this guy at Harding. that I really like. His name is Brahim. And I think I'm going to bring him home. And I said, this ain't Blindside. Your wife's not Sandra Bullock. I don't know what you're thinking. You got two little girls that are, I think at the time, what, 3 and 4 years old?
2 and 3.
And Sam said to me, I remember his quote was, "You're whirly." And I said, no, I'm not. You know I'm not. Well, I had to eat those words because Brahim is probably one of the best things that ever happened to us in our lives. And that's something that you would never expect from a football coach, bringing in a child and raising him. And he graduated West Point. So I'm very proud of Sam, and I tell him that all the time. But it's I'm proud of Sam, but I am most proud of Sam because someday we lost a child. Y'all all know that, to cancer. And Sam was her strength. She said that, Deanna, all the time. But I tell people, when we talk about our faith, that when Deanna went to heaven, I kept her room just like it was for 5 years. Nothing ever left it. But what I realized and what Sam knows is that there's one thing you can take with you to heaven, and that's your children. And so that's how I try to raise them. That someday we're together for eternity.
Wow. Beautiful.
No doubt. She, my mom don't realize too that like I get, we can bicker with each other back and forth sometimes because she was so lovey-dovey on me and all that, and I'm like this trying to be a tough football coach, but she does. I mean, she helps me become a better coach because I do care about these kids. I'm tough on them. Sometimes my mom thinks I'm a little too tough on them, just like I am on my children or whatever the case would be. But I just know this world is difficult, and I want them to be prepared. I got one goal, kind of when I coach and when I teach my own children, and I want them to be successful when I'm not in their lives anymore. I want them to be better than me. I'll tell my children, y'all will be better than me one day. And I want my football players to reach their dreams. Like, what is your dream? And sometimes being tough on them to let them know that like, your dream's very big. It's going to be tough to get there. So I'm going to be tough on them. And sometimes parents have a hard time with that. And they're like, man, he don't really care about them. Like, I care more about them than you can ever imagine. And what gives me satisfies me is like seeing a situation like Brahim. I literally talked to him on the phone 2 days ago, and we talked probably at least 3 or 4 times a week. He's coming back into Charlotte. He just finished an interview, and he's going to be making so much money, doing something he loves to do. He might even have time to come back and coach with me one day. That'd be pretty
He called
cool.
me last night.
Yeah, and the thing is this, like Raheem has made it. He's a ring knocker now. He is a West Point graduate. He served his time. He's working in the real world now. And like I said, one day I might end up be working for my own son. He might climb the ladder that quickly. And I'm like, hey, listen, I'm retired. I need a job that actually pays a little bit more money than what I get. And so all that stuff comes true. You just want people to be successful. And it's not just Brahim, it's players. And my mom kind of helped me have a different outlook on just she loved and cared for us. We went through a tough situation. My parents got divorced. You can see her name is Kitty Griner Hufstetler. And my stepfather raised me. It's like a bonus father. I really appreciate him. And my own father was there in my life too. And so I was blessed to have a lot of father figures in my life, and with Newsom and Barry Shuford and the guys that coached me, I really respect those guys and I learned from them. And I think that all these student athletes can learn from these figures that are in their life, good, bad, or indifferent, learn from our mistakes and you can persevere through a lot in life. And I'm just fortunate enough that I've been able to be successful because of the love that I was shown and was able to share it with other people.
I get the last word in.
Go ahead.
Because you always get the last word in. I get the last word in. Sam's favorite thing to say to me is, I'm a grown man.
You got that daggone right.
He says that all the time to me. Mom, I'm a grown man. Well, I want to tell you something, Sam. Even when I see you out there coaching on Friday nights, I still see that little boy.
Can we bring that picture of Sam with the Smurf again? I just wanted to ask Kitty a question. Kitty, you said as a child that Sam was a pretty serious fella. When did he grow out of it? I mean, you can see right here, he looks like he's just goofing off right there. I'm sorry, Sam. That looks like one of the
That's
most
fine.
serious pictures I've ever seen of you.
Yeah, no doubt. She loves to tell the story of how serious I was at an early age. She'll tell like a story. I don't know how true it was. I can't remember that far back about me picking on someone's kid. They asked me, "What was the story, Mom?"
Oh, yeah. His dad, his biological dad, is a dentist, and we had moved into a new area, and we wanted to get to know the people in the community. So we were invited to the general practitioner of the town's home to have dinner. And Sam went with us. They invited all of us to come. He was about 2.5, 3 years old, and they had a new baby. And the baby was a couple months old, and it was in a bassinet. And they brought it in, and Sam stared at it and stared at it. And I thought, oh, Lord, is something coming out of this child's mouth. I just know it. He looked at those parents and he said, did you know that your baby has the biggest ears I've ever seen? have you ever watched the movie Dumbo?
Oh,
Yeah.
he's going to hear really well as a kid.
Yeah. So yeah, he has some satellites now. I can't remember that far back. I don't know.
So
But
Sam's never had a filter, is what you're trying to tell us, kid. Is that right?
No.
that might have carried on to now, and yeah, it gets me in trouble.
Listen, I could embarrass him about one thing, but I won't. I would embarrass myself if I said that word. Lacey, my daughter-in-law, is here with me. She's kind of being my director over here. I don't know what I can say. Can I say something on the air?
You can say anything.
Yeah, you can say anything.
Lord.
We'll meet Sam.
Lord, this is the best story ever. Okay. Oh, I'm already read. Look, Sam came walking in the den one day. Are you recording that?
I'm joking.
Everything's being recorded right now.
There's Shuford.
That's Shuford, yeah.
Yeah, there's Shuford.
She's my friend. I like Barry.
Yeah. So Sam came in the room one day and he said, "What's this, Mama?" It was a tampon.
I don't remember
He
this
asked me
either.
if I could say it, and y'all. So I said, "Oh, Sam, that's for very special occasions." And I'm telling you, this child, he was a bookworm, and he said, special occasion. I said, yeah, we only for a special event. Well, about a month later, we had a group of people over for dinner, and Sam had placed one on everybody's plate.
I don't remember that, but I wouldn't put it past me.
It was a special occasion.
Nah. I knew what occasion meant.
I'm just glad he didn't do some research and talk
I'm
about
sorry.
menstruation.
That's before the internet. I could only find books, and they didn't have no special occasion tampon books out there.
It reminds me of Sam as a kid reminds me of that kid Brick from The Metal. That always liked to read.
Yes.
Okay.
Did
he whisper a lot?
Make it come alive.
Did he whisper a lot? Whisper his words like football, or something like that?
No, he didn't. He didn't do that. The only word he didn't learn in his vocabulary was Bobby.
Yeah.
Sam was on the Amazing Race. Yeah, Sam was on the Amazing Race. I don't know if y'all knew that or not.
Oh yeah.
And they were in the United Kingdom. I think it was London because Big Ben. I remember that being there. And they gave them clues, and they had to find the clues. And they told them to look for a Bobby. And
I remember that.
And Sam went around to everybody in the park going, "Are you Bobby? Are you Bobby?" Not knowing that it meant policeman.
Well, I got a story to back that up that they kind of did me dirty, and y'all know this, but all right, they don't put this on film that about 20 minutes before we asked directions for a cop. There was a cop that was along the way, and we got our hands slapped like you can't talk to children and you can't talk to cops. Well, when you're looking for a Bobby, I was scared to ask. I was like, "Yo, Bobby," I kept looking at him sideways. and he had like, "Yo, it's me," basically. But
I think
I
I
mean,
had.
I was afraid to say because it was the first day on the show, and they were like, "Don't talk to cops."
Here
I'm
it
like, "Well,
is.
dadgummit,
Here's the
yeah,
body.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's pretty crazy." Yeah, they did me dirty on that one. Sorry, we came out of never lost, never lost. By the way.
No, Sam, see what I did? I did you some prompts.
Oh my gosh. What? It's like a little shrine over there. What are we doing? Like, come on now.
It's like Meet the Parents, Greg Fokker when he went to his parents and had like ninth place winners
Yeah.
ribbon. So, Kitty, just out of curiosity, I know you said you graduated from Independence. Do you have special ties to Indy to this day, or
She's a two-time.
Do you have any special ties to Indy?
She's a two-time champ. She's a two-time champ. I can tell you that. She's a Miss Independence 2 years in a row. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you know how long ago that was? Do you know how long ago that was?
Then she went to Wingate and carried
You're
out.
not that much older than me, I bet you.
No, I don't mind. I'm 72.
Oh gosh, really? Wow.
Yeah. She looked good. She looked good.
So you were like class of 71, 72, somewhere
We
in
were
there?
the first graduating class of 3 consecutive years. In other words, no, we were the third year. Does that make sense what I just said?
Well, no, because no one would understand it because high school's 4 years now. You
Oh,
talking
it's
about
4
when high
years
school?
now. Then it was 3 years. Yeah. This is the way I feel about Independence. I love Independence unless they're playing him. In the same way with Butler, that's a tough situation for him. He just played Butler and had his high school reunion the next night. After he
opened the same year as Olympic.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
I don't know if you remember that or knew that, Kitty.
Independence and Olympic opened at the same time. I didn't know that.
Same year.
I didn't either. And this
they opened up in the fall of '66, if I remember correctly. And
yeah.
And so
I just told my age to a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, they all know it now.
I'll tell you right now, Kitty. If when I get to your age, which is not that far away, I'll be flaunting it. Of course, I've already screwed that up, so it's not going to happen. So,
well,
Sam,
that's pretty cool.
You haven't seen me. Look.
So what?
My hair was this afternoon. It was down to here. I just.
Oh, you cut? Yeah, let's go. I got a cell phone. I'm not using my computer right now.
Yeah, I like that.
Tell me, before I have to, y'all cut me off. Dale, how are you doing after getting run over by the football player?
Well, I didn't get run over by the football player.
Well, what happened?
You're talking about my actual fall.
Yeah, what happened?
So, I played 2 sports in high school.
Yeah.
That was football and soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And I had it in my mind that I could still do certain things I could do.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a thing in soccer. It's called a foot trap. That's where when a ball's rolling, you can slap your foot down on the top of the ball and stop it. Then when you're really good, you can flip it up and do other things, but you can put your foot down on the ball and stop it.
You didn't.
So what happened? Yeah. So what happened was there was a punt, and the ball landed about 10 yards upfield for me, but inside the hash. So it was pretty close to the sideline, and it just kind of bounced and bounced and bounced right towards me. So I had my phone in my hand because I'm recording, and I said, okay, well, I'm going to stop this ball. I'm not going to let it go all the way back behind me. So I went to throw my foot down on the ball. Now, I have a little bit of an issue that I have spinal surgery.
Yes, I knew that.
And now that's because I have deteriorating disc, and it's a long-term thing, and it's caused me to have an imbalance of strength. And it turns out my left leg is not as strong as my right leg. So when I tried to put my foot down with my right to stop the ball, I couldn't balance myself. So I put my foot down harder on the ball. And the next thing I know, I got 2 coaches coming over to help me up. And it seemed like just so many players, just like everybody kind of like ran to me. So I didn't get ran over. I've been hit in the back by a player this year when the player tried to swing at another player on the opposing team and instead hit me. I've had players bounce into me because I like to get the angles that I know plays are coming at. So I know those angles on the sideline that typically a play will come right at you. But I've never, ever, ever, ever been knocked down by a player. I've come close, but little old Dale trying to be, oh, I've still got that athlete in me.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll make you some barbecue one night.
Ooh,
Okay,
I know you like barbecue, and
well,
and
yeah,
I'll make
you
barbecue.
you better bring your A game. This guy's been to the best
Oh, I
barbecue
know.
places in the world.
I know.
Man, what Dale needs to do is he needs to do a barbecue for you maybe one time because he makes the most
Okay.
amazing smoked stuff there
You
is. It's
just
unbelievable.
you just invited us to dinner at his house.
There you go. That's right.
The place that you ate the other night is where my other son Trevor and his wife, they just celebrated their 1-year anniversary. They catered their wedding.
Yeah. So if I catered my youngest daughter's wedding,
Mhm.
we used City Barbecue
Hmm.
because I didn't know about Smoke Pit at the time. Now, Smoke Pit was only in Concord at the time, but if I had it to do over again, Smoke Pit would be the ones I would cater. Though City did a very, very good job. I give them credit; they are good.
It was great, wasn't it, Sam?
It was good. It was
That
real
was
good.
I'll give a shout out to my cousin Bill Hall. He used to be the head
Okay.
coach at Northwoods. He actually caters. He'll do barbecue all over the state also. So, and his is A1.
Sam's
Good
an
deal.
excellent cook. Sam cooks most don't you cook most dinners?
Yeah,
Yeah, you do. You do.
I
He's a
do.
great cook.
Yeah, I get.
Sam, I can tell one thing: she never approached Barry Shuford, did she?
Yes, I sat with his wife. I always sat with his wife at the game.
No. About
His wife, yeah.
how he was
I'm,
talking to Sam or other players.
no. She kept it. She understood the boundaries of a. She understood the boundaries of a player and
He'd have
or a
chewed your
parent.
head off.
Oh, he would have. And yeah, Shuford. I used to coach for Shuford when I went over to Olympic for that year, and
I remember that year.
oh yeah, he chewed me out one time. I was like, Coach, I ain't got to be here, buddy. I was like, I love you. This ain't the
I
same thing.
was scared
So
of Newsom. I was scared of Newsom.
yeah, I mean,
More so than Shuford, really?
Yeah, Shuford was quiet and he had little children then. And they were always running around on the football field. And so I saw him as a daddy too.
well, Shuford was heavily offensive, and I only played a little bit of receiver, but I played all three of my years on varsity under Newsom for the most
Under
part.
Newsom.
Yeah, and so that was kind of my direct coach and mentor. Even though loved Schufer to death, I think he was great and great head coach. But that's kind of how it all started. Now, when I first got my first job, Newsom's the one that hired me, and I was there for a year. But I realized sometimes it's not the easiest to go back and coach with where you played because they're still going to look at you as kind of a player still. Like, what can you bring to the table? They want you to be the, pick up the cone kind of guy. And I had to earn my keep, and I felt like I had a lot to offer, and I had to branch away and further my career elsewhere. And then I kind of gained their respect later on, I think, and they've been very supportive of me throughout my career now, obviously. And so like Steve Shaughnessy and Newsom, those guys are big parts of my life and how I coach today. But sometimes it's just for any guys that are going into high school, going to college, and they have ambition to coach again. And sometimes you'll get those opportunities with who you know. And I'm saying it's a great way to start, but to kind of progress if you want to be a head coach or a coordinator down the road, a lot of times you're going to have to go away from your coaches that coached you because that's hard to get over the hump. They're going to still look at you as a player until it's time kind of earn your keep elsewhere. No doubt.
Well, I'll tell you what, you were blessed with some great coaches, Barry Shuford and obviously Mike Newsom, the great guys there, and you can't go wrong with that Butler school.
No
I
doubt.
think Sam ended. He'll correct me if I'm wrong. I think that you ended up, of all the coaches you had, I think you probably have spent more time with Shaughnessy. Y'all gone to West to the games to watch Brian play.
Yeah, I think our relationship is,
Yeah.
Newsom has always been there too. I talked to Newsom, Shaughnessy. I still hear from Shuford here and there. Um, like the Kim Cowsers of the world. Everybody, if I see them, run into them. There's anybody that's coached you, even my college coach, Chip Hester. You learn a lot of things from guys because they really care, and I honestly don't think North Carolina really, and we're all trying to coach for a change, and we're saying pay the coaches, but they don't understand how much they've made an impact on me in my life, and I know that I'm trying to make impacts on these other kids' lives. And some of them don't become coaches; they become other things in the world. But I guarantee those CEOs appreciate them playing football or other sports because you learn so much discipline, you learn so much like team environment. It's not about us as an individual, but we play the greatest team sport there is, and that stuff carries on to the workforce, and it makes a huge impact learning these things.
Well, that
Y'all,
was the
thank you for
purpose of
having me
this.
on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I
that
really
was actually,
appreciate it.
Kitty, that was the purpose of having you come on, was to try to help show the
human side to
impact
see.
that coaches have,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
and they need to be paid. You
Oh,
guys need to be paid.
it doesn't matter because I retired, but I taught almost 30 years.
Mhm.
And it's the only job in the world that I taught that many years. And it's knowledge to anyone. What job do you stay in for 30 years and the highest you ever made was 61,000?
What did you teach?
Language arts.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's. That's the thing. My mother was an art teacher in Stanley County, and I can tell you right now, 61,000 wasn't. She didn't come close to making that when she retired, and it's a ministry in itself to be a teacher these days.
It's
It's a
the best.
mission.
It's the best job. And
Yeah.
Sam always would say to me, I know I keep telling on Sam, he'd go, I don't know why you're a teacher. You don't make any money.
Yeah,
And
my dad. Yeah,
then,
my dad was a doctor and a dentist, and then I chose to go my mom's route. I don't know what I was thinking.
you love me. But I made the same mistake as you. Those last 4 years that I taught, I was an academic facilitator, but I stayed in the same school that I had worked in as a teacher. And I never could gain that respect from the teachers. I couldn't switch roles.
Well, Kitty, I hope I get to meet you on
I meet you too.
the state championship game. I live over near Chapel Hill, so Sam, just get to Chapel Hill. You know what to do. You did the last year, except you ended up going to Carter Finley, but make it to Chapel Hill, and so I can meet your mom.
Yeah, no doubt.
That. Tell Langston I said goodbye.
All right.
Yeah, and congratulate Chris. Chris got married.
Yeah.
Yep. So he finally tricked somebody. Nah, he's a good guy. Appreciate you guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you,
See you
Sam.
now.
Thank you, Kitty.
Bye.
Wow, that was just an incredible time there. It's so good to meet Kitty. She was just everything advertised and then more. I mean, just the human elements that goes into coaching is phenomenal when you hear it from the mom's perspective.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping she might insight into interfacing with Newsom as a parent, so that people can get a better I think people need a better understanding of what coaches do, what our coaches are doing.
Right, I agree with you on that. It is. They're being, but not the coaching is just one small element of what our coaches do. I mean, they're father figures. They're people that do the laundry, take care of the of the facilities, have to listen to angry parents. They have to deal with administration, and then
Well,
on top of it, they're not getting paid anything.
Well, here in CMS, a number of coaches have and do house kids.
Yeah.
They take in kids that are in situations. Sam's situation of doing that with Raheem was pretty well documented and known. A lot of coaches do it, and it's not known. But trust me, that's not it's not I don't want to say it's so common that every coach on every team in CMS does it, nor do I believe that it's probably isolated to CMS. But there does seem to be a larger number of coaches here in CMS that I'm aware of that have done this in the past. And that's just another element of how the coaches are uh, focused on what the players do.
Right. Exactly right. Well, I tell you what, Bill, maybe we can look at some standings. I just kind of want to look at the what we have going on here, playoffs and everything. That Greater Charlotte 7A 8A, I know we all talk about the Power Six, but that Greater Charlotte 7A 8A, they got 3 really good teams in there. And see the 8A, they got Palisades at South Meck, and the 7A Hopewell at Butler, and West Mecklenburg at Page, and Huff and Myers Park got a bye on that.
Yeah, there's
That
really
Palisades
only
in
one. I guess the Palisades and South Meck game should be a close game.
I think so. I think that's going to be a really good game. I think that's going to be a really fun one. That Hopewell Butler, I'm going to give Butler the edge in that game. Hopewell's played some good, had some good games this year. I think right now Butler's my pick. In the 8A Power 6, 7A, 8A, Chambers of Pinecrest, I like Pinecrest. Do you think Chambers, you think they have much of a chance in that game, or?
No, I just hate to say it, but no.
All right. North Meck, I think that they're the team that kind of everybody felt like they should have gotten into the playoffs. But you know what? When you go 3-7, it's sometimes bad things happen. But you look at that team up there, West Meck at 1-9, getting the playoffs. That's tough. We beat that dead horse last week or earlier on. We can go on now.
I mean, one fact to state is that by power rankings, West Mecklenburg did finish in the top power rank schools in the state in that class. So they did. I don't like the fact that they qualified via RPI, but they would have qualified with power rankings.
Oh, I agree with that. They've been like 38th or 39th in there. That points allowed, they have 524. I think that might be 254. I don't have it in front of me, but I'm pretty sure North Meck didn't allow 52 points a game this year. I just wanted to point that out if anybody was questioning that.
The important thing about all that is that while West Meck ranked 47th in power, North Mecklenburg ranked 33rd in power. So, and having seen results, if you were to look at a subjective view on things, North Meck is a better team than West Mecklenburg is. So it's just kind of a strong indicator that we should not be using RPI alone.
Right. And people, just let you know, this is not an anti-West Meck bias that Dale has. I'm pretty sure it's not anti-West Meck bias because I believe Dale graduated from West Mex. So
Yeah, no, there's no bias
it's
here.
just true facts on that. Just wanted to point that out to everybody.
You gotta look at whether you do objective data or well, I'm all about objective data, period. So
Right.
things that we can really analyze. And yes, RPI is objective, but it's not as doesn't have as much data input into it as
Right.
does power rankings. So
and let you
no
know,
bias.
RPIs is more binary. When you do power rankings, you do have more instead of just 0, 1. It's a big array when it comes to power rankings. There is some differences, like with margin of victories and so forth. Can we go to
the
next
power
slide?
rankings?
Let's go to the next slide and go ahead, Dale.
Jim, the power rankings take into account every team in the state gets applied against the power ranking. Whereas RPI only does your record, your opponent's record, and your opponent's opponent's record.
Right. I was talking about the margin of victory. It's something that the power rankings will incorporate.
That's another thing. So there's just far more data.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the reason why, to me, it's not binary, because with the RPI, they treat a win that's 49-point victory the same as it is if it's a 3-point victory with the current system. That Southwestern 7A, 8A, that's another conference that was very competitive among those top 3 teams there. Going into the season, did you think it was going to be Providence 1, Palisades 2, Ardrey Kell 3?
I figured those would be the top 3 teams, without question.
I had Palisades as number 1 going in.
Yeah, I don't. As far as how they finished, I figured I thought it might be Palisades and Providence flipped.
Right. And there was a 3-way tie between East Mac, Rocky River, and Ballantine Ridge. This conference is going to be better, I think, especially as Ballantine Ridge gets more years into its system. I don't care what they say. If you start out in year 1 as a football program, it takes a while. It takes 5 or 6 years a lot of times to really establish a football program. You got to get your feeder schools ready and so forth, and get your coaching.
Well,
you got to get your fans. You got to get kind of some enthusiasm.
CMS doesn't really have feeders.
Yeah.
There's no you go to this middle school, you will always go to this high school. They don't have that in CMS. But so Palisades, for example, we're looking at a 4-year school. So that's probably about the amount of time for a new school. By the time you can get your first graduating class that's fully attended the school, you've had an opportunity to build your program, your signature.
Exactly. Providence and Ardrey Kell, they're going to be playing again this week. They played last week. Dale, it's a hard thing to beat a good team twice. It's really hard to beat them back-to-back weeks.
That's because the other team is a good team. That's really I think the biggest part of that. I don't know how many teams, if we had an opportunity to look and see how many other teams are doing this, that played a game final week of the season and are now turning around and playing that same opponent the very next week. We had set up pods back several years ago to eliminate that, to keep that from happening. And it did, because we were having it happen here in Charlotte and probably other places. We were having that happen a lot. So I don't like that. It is, in this situation, it's 2 rivals that have got to get themselves back up again. And it does put Providence at a disadvantage.
Right.
They won. They kind of, though the score was only 2 scores, they did kind of have their way on the field, from what I understand. And that gives Audrey Kell more motivation. And, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of this.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's a tough one. They did that pods a couple different times in different segments. I know they did it about 14, 15 years ago. And then they tried to bring it back in for a couple of years. I kind of like that in a lot of ways. Tell you what, let's go back to the standings. I just want to look at what else we got here in that Palisades, South Mac, where I talked about Ardrey, Providence. Okay, that's good. Let's look at that greater Metro 6A, 7A. South Iredell, A.L. Brown. I got Brown. And West Cabarrus and R.J. Reynolds. That's kind of a flip one right now. R.J. Reynolds, West Cabarrus, they're pretty even. I think West Cabarrus might actually have just a tiny bit of an edge on that. R.J. Reynolds might be a little bit banged up right now. And that Central Cabarrus and Southeast Guilford game, that's another doozy. I think that's going to be a great one to go to. Let's see here. Looking at I can't really help with that NCHSAA Big South one.
Yeah. So
Chapel Hill. That's an East team going down to Union County.
Hang on one second. I just want to see what game. So we got Country Day and Charlotte Christian having a face-off again.
Yeah. Oh, at the very top, I see Ragsdale at Olympic. Olympic should handle Ragsdale. Cuthbertson at Porter Ridge. I know that they played not that long ago. I think last week Cuthbertson and Marvin Ridge played, but I think Porter Ridge should do all right against Cuthbertson. I think they'd be favored.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. We were going to have Olympic head coach on tonight.
Okay, maybe we can get him on another time. Let's go on down to. I know we're probably about 15, 20 minutes left in the show. Let's go on to the next slide or next page here. West Mecca, Davie County. I'm sorry, Dale. I think Davie County wins that one. I'm sure you do too. And
don't really have anything to say about it.
Alexander Central, Statesville. I think Statesville's got it. Kings Mountain should handle Ben Smith. Hunter Huss and Irwin. That could be a pretty good game, Dale. Irwin's it's a good team. Hunter Huss, good. I mean, they played good against Ashbrook. That game could go either way. I'll give Concord just a slight advantage over Forest View. All right. Maybe we can go to the next page here. And Smoky Mountain and Forest Hills. Dale just let you know that Forest Hills team is all beaten up. They had some players transfer out too. They should beat Forest Hills. Lexington should handle West Stanley. All right, I want to see that South Piedmont 4A, 5A. There's a lot of teams in that conference, 8 teams. Maybe we can see the games at the very bottom on the next page. All right, there we go. That Montgomery Central Jesse Carson might be a good game. And in that conference, Western Foothills 4A, 5A. How about Fred T. Ford, Dale? That might be a pretty good game.
We'll take a look at our picks in a minute.
Yeah. All right.
That was one of them.
Okay. I'd probably go with Ford on that game. It should be a decent one, though. That should be a really good game. Oh, let's see who's playing that South Piedmont 2A, 3A, 4A. North Wilkes at West Lincoln. That's going to be a good game. That game could actually go either way. I'm going to take West Lincoln, but that should be a pretty competitive one.
Yeah, that's another game that was in the picks.
Well, which one?
The North Wilkes, West Lincoln.
Oh, is it? Yeah, that game could go either way, to be honest with you. I'll probably go with
Pretty
West
sure I
Lincoln on
remember
that
it
one.
being in the picks.
Okay. All right, let's go to the next page here. And Lane Tree Charter at Mitchell County. Mitchell County should win that game. Union Academy at Owen. Believe it or not, that's going to be a good game. I'm going to give Owen the advantage just because it's going to be at up at Swananoa or Black Mountain or wherever you call Owen. But that should be a pretty competitive one. I think Cherokee should handle Albemarle. North Rowan will beat Avery. Mountain Island Charter should handle Elkin. All right, let's see what else we got here on the next page. I can't help you with any of those. That Raven Gap team, though, that should be should beat Christ School, though. I just have a lot of respect for Raven Gap.
Yeah, that'll be. I would expect that will not be a competitive game. That's a good program. Raven Gap is.
Not one of you. No Limit picked South Meck. I'm picking South Meck in that game.
So I did not because I think I don't know. Both teams can prove some points to me.
Right.
I think without a failure to finish, I think for about 3.5 quarters, Palisades is probably the better team. Because you're talking about a team that played that same span of game, beating Independence, beating Clover, beating Providence.
Right.
They just had their finish problems. So, yeah, I see. This is the first time I've seen everybody's picks. Everybody
Right.
picked Providence. No surprise there, right? And then everybody picked Pinecrest.
I'm surprised anybody picked Chapel Hill. I think Marvin Ridge will win by 3 scores against Chapel Hill.
Yeah, Nate picked Chapel Hill. I don't know what to say about that. I think power rankings. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
I was looking at some of this stuff a little bit ago as to where the two aren't too far off, if I remember correctly, on power ranking. Within the classification, I don't remember now, but I just feel like that's a Marvin Ridge.
Marvin Ridge has had better competition, and also, what's the word for it? I think there's not enough games between, like, the Union County area and the Research Triangle area to really get you proper power rankings, across the state. That's some problems with the power rankings with the state. Sometimes you have such limited data points, it's hard to connect certain areas with other areas.
So that there's a tie between Nate, Langston, and myself, and Chris is one behind. Chris fell behind because he sort of went. I don't think he went out on a limb. He made a good pick. It just was against the pick that we all made last week, and that caused him to fall a game behind. So now here he is again. He's out on a limb as the only one to pick.
I'm picking Ford.
So that might allow him to tie it back up again. Because otherwise, we all have the same picks. It looks like Langston and I have exactly the same pick. Nate's a different on one. Gary is the same. And No Limit is, well, he picked South Mech. So he could pick something up there.
Well, that's kind of interesting. This time I took two of them. I took the South Mech over Palisades, and I took Ford over Lincoln Charter. Those games, either one of those could go either way, to be honest with you.
What I like about this week's picks is it went a little further out, and we pulled in a West Lincoln, and we pulled in a Ford.
Right.
So I like that. And the fact that North Wilkes and West Lincoln is a total, you can say Lake Norman Charter is kind of here in this area, whereas North Wilkes and West Lincoln are counties away. So
we need to get that that illustration you had of you going on a limb. Where you remember that time that was last year or 2 years ago? You had a picture of you like on a limb.
Yeah, I do.
It was good. It was to me one of the best drawings I've seen. You had a knack for that. You should put that on there every so often. Maybe it's the Dale on a limb moment.
Dale on a limb moment. So Dale, the limb I went out on this year was really that Independence Mallard Creek game. I didn't think it was a limb, but it turned out to be not just going out on a limb, but it was a kind of flimsy limb,
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And the limb broke. It broke on me. I see we got some other comments here. We've had a lot of comments.
North Stanley, Lincolnton is a good team. They beat Shelby. I agree with that. That 3A West, there's a lot of good teams. East Rutherford, you got Shelby, you got Lincolnton, Walkertown. Do you think Greensboro Grimsley will win the state? I think they have a decent chance. They're going to have to get past Weddington. I did get news that their quarterback will be back. What's his name? Faison Brandon. He'll be back for the playoffs for Grimsley. He is a phenomenal athlete. Dale and I have both seen him. I think we saw him when he was a sophomore. Even back then, He was one of the best football players I've ever seen in my life. Poise, leadership, skill.
They definitely have a shot at winning it. They're one of the favorites. They are the number one power rank program in this classification. But I think my favorite is Weddington.
Yeah, mine's right now Weddington. The only reason I'm picking Weddington over Grimsley is because the quarterback has been out for a while. The freshman that was replaced Brandon, phenomenal job, great job. But whenever you come back from an injury, I don't know about you, Dale, but it seems like the player is never 100% right. They might be 85% or 90%, but there's always something they're missing.
I think of course, there's several factors there. One is how close are they coming back from, how long has it been since the injury? What is their physical status when they come back? So we saw a wonderfully great Mallard Creek team who had a quarterback go down the week before, and that quarterback went up and played at UNC Chapel Hill. He went down the week before, and they played Vance the very next week, Jim. And in that situation, they practiced the entire week with their backup quarterback as being the starter, and then made a change, not at game time, but I believe on game day, and they started him, and he wasn't ready. Now, is Faison healthy? So there's two points of being ready. One is, are you physically ready? And are you mentally ready? So,
right. That's the big thing. It's like in baseball, you can have a pitcher that's had elbow injury or shoulder injury, and they're on the DL for 21 days, 30 days, whatever. And they come back and they may be thinking they're throwing as hard as they can, but they're not. They're holding back a little bit. They don't even realize they're doing it because they don't want to have that pain that they felt last time. So,
well, there's a couple of things about that's one of the mental being ready is your mind's not ready to control your body with that muscle memory that it has. So, you if you're a pitcher, your ball is maybe 3 miles an hour slower, 5 miles an hour slower. But there's also the point of a quarterback has to think a lot and react and do a number of other things that he's not been doing all season. He's not had any real experience in a long time since he's done that. So he's got that mental aspect of the game too to get ready. Thankfully, he'll have the games that get tougher as they move through. So there will be some opportunity to learn, or to get prepared mentally again. We'll see. Sam Griner, who do you play West Charlotte? Oh, so he was asking that question when Sam was on. He just made a couple of other comments here, Jim. Do you think Crest is a tough team? I think we all think Crest is a tough team.
Crest, East Lincoln, Hickory, South Point, J.M. Robinson, Franklin, Oak Grove. I mean, that 5A West is just loaded. Huff is a very good team.
Yeah.
Huff, West Charlotte, 8A teams.
You got to say, Huff is, in a lot of people's eyes, Huff is the favorite in that class.
I'm going with Sam Griner on that West Charlotte. And the only reason I say that is I think West Charlotte's, at the end of the day, I'm always looking for that woo. It's like, do you have woo? And they're like, what's woo? Like, if you see woo, you got woo.
Mm-hmm.
And West Charlotte has that woo. I know that they do. I don't know if Huff does or not, but I know West Charlotte has
without question, they do.
They got woo. Okay.
Oh, they got everything. They got Mo and everything. They got Mojo. They got everything. This is a different Huff team than any team I've seen. Any Huff team I've seen that was, pushing towards a state championship. So that doesn't mean they're going to get over the hump. You can have Woo and Mojo and all that other stuff, but if you can't
Larry, Mo, and Curly, you can have all those guys.
You can't get over that hump. Well, and Grimsley's been their hurdle in the past. That hurdle's not there. Is it going to be West Charlotte? We'll see.
So, Dale, what's your final thoughts for tonight?
Well, here we are going into the playoffs, and my thoughts this week have been on how the way that we pair teams, the way that we seed teams is wrong. I'm a big believer in conference play. I grew up thinking that conferences were important, and we play in conferences for a reason. They're not just an organizational unit of potentially local teams, because we see teams playing in a conference, but yet geographically they have a lot of distance between them. So, that's a proof that that's not why we have a conference this year. I'm thinking some of the teams here in Charlotte having to go up from the western side of Charlotte, having to go up to Cabarrus County. I always thought that winning a conference championship meant something, again, more than just beating this little cluster of teams that you are with. that they had implications in playoffs. They had implications in your seeding. I'm not happy that the conference champions do not get seeded, A, automatically, but B, I think they should be seeded ahead of everybody else. I don't like the old method of doing 2s and 3s and, some of the other little, things that they did.
Nuances. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I see what they were trying to do then, but now I see that I want conferences to develop champions and let the champions automatically get into playoffs, seed them, and let the rest of the teams go in by. I don't like RPI. I like power rankings over RPI. So we just see a number of issues, and that's what I've been thinking about this week and would like to see the NCHSAA address in the off season.
Right. I think all that's great, Dale. I agree with you on that. And another thing I always think about with you, Dale, is the East-West. We would like to have some type of longitudinal line that's consistent. We know what teams going in are going to be playing on the East and what's going to be on the West. So
exactly, we had it last year. Why do we have to do away with it?
Yeah, exactly. Well, guys, it is time for you to go get ready for Friday. Friday is not that far away. It's only a couple of days away. Find a game to go to. I'm going to be over in Durham on Friday night. I'm going to watch Southern Durham host Lumberton. Find some place to root on your favorite team or your local school. There's a lot of ways you can catch up with us. We'll be back on the air on Friday night about 11. Or I guess it's going to be 11:30 this time, Dale. Is that right? So do we schedule 11:30?
We talked about it.
We'll be sometime around 11:30. Come on,
11:30. We have to ask our producer what he wants us to do.
Yeah, we might be 11, might be 11:30, but come and humor us. Tell us about your game. We'd love to hear from everybody. But from Jim West and Dale Ross with Talking Preps Plus, thank you so much for joining us. Have a good evening.